Hi, this is a little point and shoot explainer for those who will be doing the butterfly parade stuff. Butterflies, we've got big ones over here, big ones, and little ones. And the 6 little ones and 12 big ones, and 6 flowers, 6 big tall flower stems with these flowers on them. There's lights embedded in all of this, colour cycling RGB LED lights, battery powered ones. With these little ones, the lights go in here. With the big ones, goes in a similar spot like that there, shining upwards. You'll see all this in a minute. And with the flowers, with these flowers, there's some large LED lights that beam down on top of the butterflies. Flowers are parading in between the butterflies when we're marching them around, and the colours coming up through the butterflies from underneath in this spot here, and the colours coming down from above in those flowers is what creates the magic. So we'll show you a bit about these, particularly the big ones. They're very heavy, very top heavy, very awkward and vulnerable and tricky to work with without breaking them, particularly raising them to a vertical position when they're lying down on the ground, just lifting them up and opening them out and fixing the elastic around here to lock them open. All that's full of potential disaster for the structure, because it's very light. You know, the whole thing's being held up by these little sticks of bamboo and a hinge going through there, another couple of hinges here. It's a very badly designed piece of engineering. Can't imagine who would have designed something so stupid and not done it properly yet, but you get that. So the tricky bit is that I'm going to demonstrate here. The first tricky bit is getting them up and down without putting strain on those very light structures and breaking stuff. Okay, so the biggest problem with these butterflies, the big ones, is how careful you've got to be when you're lifting it from the horizontal to the vertical and opening it up. You've got to try and spread the load so no part of it's getting too much pressure, taking too much of the weight. So usually 2 sets of hands on it, one down the bottom end, and the main one is trying to take the weight with all of this in a way that doesn't put too much strain on any one point. So there's various ways of doing it. We'll just have a go and you'll see what we're talking about. It can be good if you're carrying them around to carry them vertically like this. That's a lot less strain on these hinges than if it's being held horizontal. We might just come up vertical with this, put the bottom down like that, and we'll let it open up. What's hanging up here? There we go. That's it there. We've got this little bungee loop here, which goes around that and keeps it open. And then once we're out on the street and this thing's in place, that action there, going through that little loop, that's what we're doing on the street. Lights coming up through there, another light from the flowers coming down from above, and that's where the magic is. We've got a few of these, which are kind of handy for locating them in while we are getting the gimbal belt ready. Okay, so
Nice.
That's a little bit suboptimal, but anyway, it'll do for now. Yeah. One of these little ones. The little ones are much easier to deal with than the big ones, and they can open up. The tape just keeps them closed while they're in transit, and then the little bungee just keeping it all up. That put into the gimbal and takes the weight, and then it's much easier to control the whole thing and walk around with it for an extended length of time. The big butterflies are more of a handful, but once they're in the gimbal belt and in action, they're totally good to go without too much drama. So in terms of parading them around, you can just walk a normal walk, or you can put a bit of pizzazz in it and, you know, channel your inner butterfly and bring it into a bit of a dance and a bit of a bit of performance. But at all times, just being mindful of what's going on above your head. Lots of overhead obstacles to be aware of, especially when all the butterflies are together. Trying to group yourselves close to the flowers that are coming down from above, because they are making the magic happen with the colours. Anyway, there we go. Bit of an explainer. It'll all be magic on the night.